Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's One Piece Treasure Cruise video we are going to talk about the worth of the upcoming ship, the White Tiger, aka Zephyr's ship, and this is the third ship that is coming out as far as movie ships are concerned, and we are awaiting for one more, which is of course the Bullet ship. Just like the Grand Tesoro was available with the Treasure Map currency through the Treasure Map exchange, this one will be available with the Kizuna currency from the Kizuna exchange in Kizuna Zephyr, which is the upcoming Kizuna. Here are the abilities of the ship, not only at base level, but also at the maximum level of upgrades with modifications. I have talked about them more when I ranked the 4 new movie ships, so let's jump into the advantages and disadvantages of you getting this ship. We are actually going to see all of them together this time because I think a lot of people already have made up their minds about this ship, but let's discuss further. I think that the ship is very straightforward, so the same will happen with the advantages and disadvantages. And for the first positive, it has a good attack and HP boost. Have in mind it is only for shooters, which also means this is the best shooter ship in the game. Is that a positive? It definitely is, but at the same time it doesn't really say much, simply because there are not a lot of great shooter ships, and as we know, the shooter class is generally underwhelming, one of the worst if not the worst class in the game. The next positive though is that the ship makes beneficial psi and int slots, meaning that if your units have a psi slot, even if they're not psi, it will be matching, and for 2 type slots to have this beneficial effect, that is definitely a great ship ability, and it is even at the base form, which never happens essentially in other ships. This is 100% something that happens here with the White Tiger, simply because it is a shooter only ship. And normally we see RCV slots matching, TND slots matching, but never 2 type slots being matching. So this is definitely a great ability. The ship also provides the classics at this day and age for ships, easier perfects and -1 turn of special cooldown for everyone at the start of the quest. The easier perfects part is definitely a positive, simply because this is a quality of life feature for every single ship to make your run much more comfortable. And finally, of course, this is a free-to-play ship since you don't need to spend gems for it. But to transition to the disadvantages, yes, it is a free-to-play ship, but the counter-argument is that Kizuna Insignia is not that easy to obtain, and obviously you might want to use the Kizuna currency to obtain Super Evolution Skulls or Kizuna characters. These are not cheap to max out, so in my opinion, you should prioritize that first before even thinking about getting this ship. This is a certainty, especially if you are someone that misses a lot of Kizuna characters, or if you are a new/newer player in the game. Next up, the ship has mediocre modifications. The 1 turn paralysis removal is fine, but won't be relevant in a lot of situations, and the 1 turn of extra special cooldown from the ship ability is nothing crazy. And finally, the biggest disadvantage with the ship is that it only boosts shooter characters. Since they are the worst class in the game and they don't have great representation, you are almost never going to use full shooter teams. With the release of more shooter characters, yes, that might change, especially if we see a very strong shooter legend coming out, but the recent releases of Fujitora and Kizaru, and even the upcoming Kizuna legend Ain, won't change the fact that shooters are not that great. Especially with Fujitora and Kizaru, we saw them try to do something unique with a shooter character, but in my opinion they kinda missed the mark and it's not that great of a legend. Critical hit is not that important and impactful in One Piece Treasure Cruise. It might become in the future, but I kind of doubt it as of now. We will see, I guess, but another shooter character is Ain, definitely better, also provides more utility. These are not the legends that will single-handedly make the shooter class great though. We do have great shooter characters and captains like Versus Ace, Ace Yamato, and of course the Super Evolution of V1 Uta, the Q version. They are all great shooter captains, but we most often than not prefer to use them for the other class they boost and not the shooter part. Hence why even with those captains you still are not going to make a full shooter team most of the time. And that is one of the main reasons I don't really think this ship is worth Even if it was the ship you wanted to use, you can just use something like the whale sharks instead. And you should probably use the Kizuna Insignia to do some other purchases from the Kizuna exchange. Or of course, if you have lots of them and you have all of the Super Evolution scores and Kizuna characters, might as well get the ship. But for newer players, the ship is definitely not worth it. What do you think though? Do you agree or disagree with me? Tell me in the comments down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.